Hey guys, thanks for tuning in today to Chop of History, brought to you by Indian Motorcycles, Law Tigers, and Badlands, aka NAMS, and Electric Lighting. So if any of you guys looking for a cool motorcycle with some horsepower right out of the box, go try out an Indian. If you're in need of a motorcycle attorney, I shouldn't say a motorcycle attorney. If you're in need of an attorney that happens to love motorcycles, give Law Tigers a call and they can refer you to somebody in your area. And if you need any kind of electrical, anything, lights, Badland boxes, wiring, anything, give NAMS a try, give them a call. We also sell all their brands. So if you guys are in this area and need anything, we could certainly sell that stuff to you and get you the right stuff. A couple of things. Don't forget the Perowitz Paint Show. Oops, sorry, wrong thing. The Perowitz Paint Show is Wednesday, March 9th at the Broken Spoke. So any of you guys going to Daytona, please come on down to our paint show because we usually get a really good crowd in Daytona of people as well as motorcycles. Anything from baggers to bobbers to old bikes, new bikes, anything.
Anything with a custom paint job.
Yeah, so that's Wednesday, March 9th. Like I said, at the Broken Spoke, which is right on Route 1 is that even Ormond Beach?
Yeah.
I think, yeah. Ormond Beach. So Wednesday, March 9th. If all you guys are going to Daytona, mark your calendar for that. And also don't forget our Instagram. If you guys are on Instagram, give us a follow, Perowitz_CycleFab. I've been trying to post as much as possible on there. So there's constantly new content posted in our stories. We have a couple of big builds going on here, some of which we can't really talk about, but we have a lot going on in our shop right now from now until Daytona. So I'm trying to post on there as much as possible. So make sure that's where you're going to get the most recent content.
And then you want to talk about Sons of Speed.
Well, yeah, but I figured this whole show is going to be Sons of Speed today because our guest, I guess we'll get right to it. Our guest today is Billy Lane. Let's bring Billy on.
Hey.
Hey, Bill.
How's it going?
Good. How's it going with you?
It's good. I think it might be colder here than it is there right now.
I'm just going to say, with that stocking cap on, does that mean it's cold there?
We've had a cold, we went right from summer to winter, no fall, and it's been cold. It's been pretty cold here lately, but looking forward to seeing you all in the Florida sunshine.
Yeah, absolutely.
Us too. Yeah, the sunshine today, it's actually probably close to 50 out today.
It's in the high 40s today, but Saturday, it's going to be in the mid 50s.
Yeah, but boy, that sunshine feels so good, even though it's not Florida sunshine yet, but we need some sunshine.
Yeah, it's sunny here too, but it's still, I mean, I just went to pick up a trailer in Kentucky, in southern Kentucky for Daytona, and it was 27 degrees. We were out there. I couldn't believe how cold it was this morning.
That's cold. Do you have snow?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm sorry?
Do you have snow?
We had snow. We don't have any snow anymore, but there was still ice and snow on the ground just a couple of days ago from that storm that came through here. We got it pretty hard, for Tennessee, not like what you all used to, but
yeah. Well, all our snow's been melting, but we still have 4 and 5 foot snowbanks out here, so
yeah,
it'll be a while before those melt.
Yeah, like in the shaded areas where they've blasted the rock out for the interstate and the highway to go through, there's still ice and snow sitting there, like in the shaded areas on that rock where the rock's still real cold.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're still seeing evidence of it. We might still get another blast or two before the season's out.
I hope not.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure we probably will.
I know.
Hopefully it'll be when we're in Daytona, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So let's get to Daytona. So Sons of Speed is Saturday, March 5th, correct?
Yeah. And this is our 5th year doing it already. Our 5th Daytona Bike Week doing Sons of Speed.
Really? Wow.
We did the first one in 2017.
Wow. God, time flies.
Yeah.
So we have you on our flyer. So you guys can see that Sons of Speed, March 5th. So it's at New Smyrna Speedway.
Can you give me 1 second? My UPS is here. I know it's
no problem. Yeah. So anyway, we'll put this back up there. So Sons of Speed is Saturday, March 5th at New Smyrna Speedway. So this is another one you guys definitely want to mark your calendars and come on out to New Smyrna Speedway because it's definitely going to be some good racing out there this year. Billy, I've heard that you have a lot of races. I know a bunch of people that this is their first time.
Yeah, I just got Danger Dan. You know Danger Dan?
I heard Andy and I were just talking about. I said, Danger Dan, is that a relation to Danger Doug? Isn't there a Danger Doug, like a
There's
stunt
probably
guy or
a
something?
Danger Don, a Danger Doug, a Danger Dave.
Is he self-proclaimed?
You know, I don't know. We're gonna find out on the 5th, right?
Yeah.
Do you know who he is?
Yeah, I know who he is. So we just got his race packet in today. And he's a newcomer, like you were just talking about. We've got a lot of new people racing. It's pretty exciting to be bringing this many new people in. You know, it's in 5 years, we've really grown it a lot. And that's something else we need to talk about for sure. But yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. So how many races were there the first year? I mean, I know I didn't come until I think the second year. So
We
and
had
I know
10 racers.
Curtis
10
was
racers.
there. How many?
10.
10.
Wow.
And now you got to be at 50.
Yeah, we're at 50.
So, good guess. So
And we're limiting it to 50 just because it gets to be, you know, you've seen it, it's too chaotic.
Yeah,
We want
definitely.
to really control it. And, you know, so we want to limit it. We don't, you know, you could just grow it and grow it and grow it. But what does that do? Does it make it a better event? If it does, you keep growing it. But if it doesn't, you have to curtail it somewhere. So we're trying to keep it around the 50 mark just because I've been to other events where there's too many bikes and nothing happens all day. It's really slow and it's sluggish. And, you know, Sons of Speed's the opposite of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We want to grow the spectators.
Yeah, for sure. You know, and that's the thing is, you know, thank you guys for doing this because it's going to help. And, you know, we've started Sons of Speed. It's weird. The antique bike thing used to be for old guys pretty much, right? It was an old guys thing.
And that's why I loved it.
Yeah. And what we wanted, oh, here comes FedEx. You drove right by, good.
Hopefully the races packet.
Oh, I got so much going on right now, so much stuff coming and going. But, you know, we wanted to change that. We wanted to make it for a younger crowd, more diverse. And we've definitely done that. But, you know, and our following is online, and online is a diverse following. You know, it's a younger following. So that's really where we've done all the marketing. And we have a really steady, loyal following. So many people that come to the event have been every year, have been 4 years in a row, 3 years in a row. And so the trick has always been to get the people who are in Daytona or in the area in Florida who are going to be at Bike Week to get them familiarized with the event because most of them just don't know.
Right.
Exactly.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that even if somebody doesn't have an interest in old bikes, they maybe don't even have an interest in racing, should come out and see it because it's so cool. It's such a unique thing that there is no doubt in my mind anybody will enjoy it regardless of your knowledge on old bikes or passion for them because it's such a neat
And that's the thing is, you know, I made a post this morning. When was the last time one of y'all went to the Daytona 200?
Yeah, right.
Never.
Yeah.
Right. Most people who go to Daytona don't even go to the 200, and mainly because it's import bikes and the biker community doesn't care about that. I got to go outside and get my FedEx. He did come back. Hey, thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Have a good one.
All right, have a good one. So, sorry about that. But
Okay.
All right.
you can't stop the Lord's work when it comes to motorcycles, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know it.
So, so most people don't even go to the Daytona or to the Supercross. If the last couple times I went to the 200, their crowd at Daytona International Speedway was smaller than a Sons of Speed crowd.
Wow.
Wow.
They just don't get a crowd there. And because, you know, this crowd doesn't care. So that's why I wanted to start Sons of Speed. I wanted to give people who come to Daytona something else to do, a break from the bar crawl, a break from the bike show thing, and come see American motorcycles, you know, and people who are real mechanics and real riders and real people in the industry do something that's, you know, that they can't see anyplace else.
Yeah. Hey, you know, I've got a lot of the guys like the Hamsters. They're not really into antique stuff. They're not real race fans, but they've started coming to watch because Jody's racing and, you know, of course, everybody else. And now, I mean, they're like, wow, this is so cool. We want to come every year.
You don't have to be in the choppers or custom bikes to enjoy Sons of Speed. And I mean, that's been the biggest, the hardest thing we've had to do. You know, I brought Andy George on in a big way, and we're going to change that. You know?
Yeah.
He's such a solid guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very.
He's done so much for our event. I mean, he's brought in, and I've hired him for a bunch of reasons, but he's brought in a bunch of sponsors. Law Tiger is one of your sponsors. He's brought them in.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
I
love
hope I never need a lawyer again. Gosh, I hope I never need a
Yeah.
lawyer.
No,
But-
you're done with that. Yeah.
But so I mean, he brought ZMax oil, and we've been working with ZMax for a while, but now they're on board as a real sponsor. Besides just giving us oil and stuff. And I mean, I think the oil's amazing. He's brought on people that we really believe in, and that can help us with the event as far as giving a purse to the racers now. So the racers, when you win, you're going to get a purse, and we have marketing money to where we can market this in a better way.
Good.
And we really get, because before it's pretty much been Aaron and I, and a little of your help, you guys having us on your broadcast and helping us around town, but with your social media, but in town on the ground, that's where you get the people. Like
Right.
we had a good crowd in October for Biketoberfest, the best Biketoberfest event we ever had, and it's because we did that hand-to-hand ground guerrilla marketing.
No doubt. We do that for our paint show too.
Right.
Make the little
Exactly.
cards, and even if they get thrown away, people still look at it, read it, and even if they only read it once, now it's in their mind.
Yeah. And we got these, which people don't throw away. I think if you guys have seen in the shop rags.
Oh yeah.
The thing is, we put this on the handlebars, tied to the handlebars, put it on their seats. If you put it on somebody's seat on Main Street, somebody walks by and swipes it, and so we'll tie them on, but regardless, somebody's grabbing it and keeping it.
Yeah.
And we'll look at it in the morning when their hangover wears off and go, wow, I might want to go see this. They don't just throw it on the ground, which is where we would see all the cards we printed. We'd see them laying all over Main Street and Destination Daytona and everywhere we put them.
Yeah,
So-
that's a great idea.
Yeah. We
It's-
should have the other side with a sponsor and have them pay for it.
Yeah, we're going to do that. The thing is like a lot of the sponsors have come on last minute because
Yeah, we know.
we brought Andy on, and Andy worked at his old job for so many he worked there for decades,
Literally.
and he had to let them know he was leaving, and so that meant he couldn't go out and really work publicly for us because he had to let them know. He had like the way he had to do that gracefully to leave where he'd been working.
Right.
And so we brought a lot of these sponsors on late at the 11th hour, and it didn't leave us time to print that. But that's what we'll do in the future.
Yeah, that's a good idea because then it's something they save, regardless if they go or not. Now it's something that they'll constantly be thought, oh, Sons of Speed. Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
good idea. That's some good marketing. And like you said, like I like the grassroots marketing of handing somebody flyers, and that's honestly what I do along with a couple other people that are just in our group.
Yeah.
But we literally go down Main Street and I will plaster every bike, handing them out on the sidewalks. Because like I said, to me, if they look at it and read it and think, oh, the Parrots Paint Show is Wednesday, now they got it in their mind. And even if they throw it away, it's like still marketing. And if I can get 10 more bikes, at our show, it's worth it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's definitely, I like that kind of marketing because social media is such a, they regulate it so much and you got to pay so much for it to get in front of so many people. And then is it the right people? Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
And social media is just, like I said, it's different. So many people are following, but then they're not in Daytona. And so you've already got those people's attention that are coming to Daytona from social media. Then now the trick is, okay, get the people from Daytona to the event. And once they come to Sons of Speed, they'll keep coming back. We know once we get the hook in their lip, they can't spit it out. They're going to come back and because it's such a great event, but it's just, that's been the challenge. And now that I've got somebody on board to help with that, who knows the motorcycle industry, who knows everybody,
Yeah.
everywhere in every venue that you can think of. We're talking about having an event up here now in Tennessee. There's a track less than 30 minutes from my shop that I'm sitting in right now. That's really great track. And we're thinking about having a Memorial Day weekend race. And then we have been working on a good Sturgis race for months now. And really making this a better thing where people who can't come to Sturgis, but might be, we've been working on Laconia, get people in your area to come so that you can go so far.
There's a lot of old bikes in this area. And
a lot.
yeah. And the thing is, I know and I talked about this actually with Andy as well as a couple other people, that Sons of Speed, you have the group of people that are doing it because they want to say they raced. They want to say they participated in Sons of Speed. They rode their bike around the track. You know, they aren't in it to win. And
Right.
then you have that group that are competitive and want to win. You know,
Mhm.
so it's kind of cool because you get both ends of the spectrum, you know, that like I'm competitive. I want to win. Whereas like Chris Callan, he just wants to go out there and race. He wants to say he did
Yeah.
it. Same thing with like Tom Kiefer. That's what he does. Even although I say so, Tom Banks is now going to race with us, which I'm so excited for. Tom's kind of like, I want to win. You know, like he's never been out there. He is not ridden on the track. Like this is totally new, but he already has that competitiveness. So it's cool for the stands to see that these are average people as well as racers, as well as people that have grown with the sport. I mean, I had never ridden on a circle track before. I had never ridden a bike with no brakes, you know, so and now I'm like getting seasoned where it's like I'm getting more and more competitive, you know, so it's in my idea of it, we're average people.
Yeah.
Aren't these huge sponsored people with rigs and with pickup trucks and trailers?
Yeah.
You know, so
It is, and it's real, you know, grassroots outlaw racing, which is, you know, this is what makes it so much fun and makes it such a great event. And, you know, for people who don't know, Sons of Speed is, you know, we race board track bikes from 1910 to 1929. They're 500cc single cylinder and 1000cc twins. And those bikes, those bikes are prehistoric. I mean, they're at the dawn of the gasoline engine, and, you know, they weigh less than 200 pounds. And it's like an overpowered bicycle. And then we raced the Harley and Indian 45s, you know, from basically 1929 to 1955. And those bikes are, you know, making twice the horsepower they were designed to make. And they're going, you know, 3 times as fast as they were designed to go. And it's just really, really exciting racing. It's super fast, high energy, heat after heat after heat, and it's done. You know, if you take a leak, you're going to miss something. That kind of event. And
ride multiple bikes.
yeah, it's really, and there's riders like you who ride in 2 classes or 3 classes, and it's really a lot of fun. So anybody who hasn't been, please come see it. And if you have been, you know, you're coming back if you're going to be in Florida, because it's the place to be.
Yeah, I mean, it is really a cool deal. You know, I love coming there. You know, just hanging and you know, I know so many of the guys, and you get to know them better, and it's just like you say, it's a real grassroots racing.
And you know, we're so happy to have you guys involved. I mean, you know, Dave, I've told you about this before on your show. You've been around for so long. I looked up to you when I was just cutting my teeth and getting started, and didn't even think I'd be doing this for a living, you know. And here I am, you know, 35 years later, you know, doing it. And you guys are involved, you know, your family's involved, and there's a lot of other families involved. And, you know, we don't care if you're a male or a female. We don't care. You know, a lot of you females have checkered flagged. I think Shelly Rossmeyer is the only female that's been on the track that hasn't checkered flagged yet. And I'm pretty sure she hasn't, but the other rest of you have. And we have, I know, I think 2 new female riders this time.
Yeah, Bass. I forget what his wife's name is.
Yeah, Michelle, I think.
I think it is Michelle. Yeah, and she does ice racing, and I mean, I follow her. I don't know her, to be honest, but I follow her on Instagram, and she seems like a cool chick.
Yeah, and so
she's out there ice racing a 45, so I'm assuming she's going to be in the 45 class.
Yeah, so, you know, that's the great thing about it is we don't care about all the politics you have to hear every day and all that nonsense that's going on around the country. That all goes away. Just like you were saying, these are regular people, but they're real people too, because you can't fake it at Sons of Speed.
No, right. You're right. Yeah.
Oh, you can weed those people out on the first lap.
Yeah.
I mean, there's poser events that I've been to where you can fake it and you look the part, but you're, you know,
absolutely
like your Saturday costume, but you can't fake it out here on the track with these motorcycles. This is the real deal. You know, if you make a mistake out there, it's critical, you know, I mean, you know, we've done a bunch of great things to make it a better event this year. Like you probably don't even know this, but I brought Andy on to just manage the event. We've got Bubba Blackwell coming back to flag again, you know.
That's great.
Yeah,
I saw we love Bubba.
We do. Yeah, he is such a cool guy, and he's such good entertainment.
He is.
Yeah, you know, and he broke Evel Knievel's record. I mean, if anybody doesn't know who Bubba Blackwell is, go back to my choppers.inc Instagram, I made a post a few weeks ago of him, breaking Evel Knievel's record. I mean, he's a beast jumper on a Harley XR 750, which is,
He's just such a cool guy. And talk about an accent. I love hearing him talk.
Oh boy, yeah.
And, we're talking about females. I love having female involvement in everything I do, not because you're a female, but I love having qualified females. But Jackie Van Ham's announcing the race. She's calling it again. So Jackie's coming back.
So
and
what's
then,
Bubba doing?
Hmm?
So Bubba's not announcing?
No, Bubba's going to flag it.
Oh, okay. So he's going to be the,
Yeah.
all right.
Just because, I really need that. So I'm not doing it. And there's a reason. I know when I need to get out of the way.
No offense. Yeah, but you need to not do it. No offense.
Yeah, but I need to get out of the way. So, and then I have a race director, coming in. It's Jason Griffin, and he does a lot of, does a lot of stuff like an ARMA and other sanctioned race events. So he's coming in as a race director. We're going to clean up that grid, on pit road, get it organized so things that like happened with you last time don't happen again. One of the things about me is I know I need to get out of the way. I know what I'm good at. I know what I'm not good at. And I'm bringing in the right people to make this a better event. And then I can focus on what my strengths are. Right.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, hey, Billy, we can't do it all. You know what I mean? We all try, but then you realize, that, you got to hand off responsibility to other people no matter what you're doing.
Yeah. So, and then, like I said, because of this, we've got Willie's Tropical Tattoo, Giuseppe's Pizza, Hot Leathers, everybody's coming on and they're bringing something to the table, which means we can pass that on to the racers, and then which gives the fans that come a better experience, So just anybody who's watching, if you want to come to Sons of Speed, and save a few bucks, you can buy tickets in advance at billylane.net. There's a link right at the top of the page there, and you can get it's general admission tickets are $5 cheaper. And the $80 hot pass.
What is that link again? I'll put it up on the bottom.
Oh, billylane.net.
So www.
Yeah, because we were using the Eventbrite link, but it's so long.
It's long. Yeah, because I had to find it and then copy it to send it to somebody because I couldn't remember what it is. So billylane.net.
Yeah, billylane.net. And then we have the hot passes, which is the pit passes, and they're great, but we know not everybody can afford an $80 pass when a hotel room's so expensive. Everything's so expensive in Daytona. So the general admission is great, but if you can get on the infield, I mean, you're up so close to the racing bikes and the racers. It's just a whole different experience. And it's the closer you get to the track, the faster it is. I mean, you all know that.
Yeah.
Well, and the sound, everywhere, no matter what kind of racing, if you're right there at the fence, the sound is cool. But this is 100-year-old motorcycles. These bikes have their own sound. It's a unique sound. So it's neat. I mean, not only is it cool, obviously, for me to ride them, but I mean, how many people have heard a 100-year-old motorcycle?
Yeah.
That's
doing
cool.
70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing.
And most people don't know, the Harley 45s that are the fastest bikes we race now. Harley they started racing those as Class C flat track racers in the 30s because the alcohol speedway bikes were just too fast. It was too dangerous. It's like what happened in NASCAR. It was getting too fast, too dangerous. So they tried to slow it down. So they slowed it down. And then people like Tom Sifton came along and figured out how to make a Harley, 45 so fast that now they became faster than speedway bikes. And now we're racing them. And it's when you hear one of those machines that's making 2 to 3 times the power it was intended to make. I mean, they literally are squeezing every last ounce of power out of those machines. It's really, really amazing. So anybody who's a gearhead or who's just likes motorcycles in general, come to the event. You won't be disappointed.
Yeah, I agree. And it's, for all you guys watching, if you don't know about Sons of Speed, it's circle track and banked circle track, which is it a quarter mile, half a mile?
It's a half mile banked.
Half a mile banked circle track. And these bikes have no brakes and no gears.
Yeah.
So put that in perspective.
And the board track bikes, most of them have no clutch. So literally once the engine's turning, the back wheel is going at a minimum of 30 miles an hour. So when you come in to stop, it takes planning. It takes so much is happening at once. I mean, there's never been anybody that has gone out there for the first time that I didn't come in and tell me, oh my gosh, that's way crazier than I expected it. Cause it's so much work.
Yeah. I mean, I actually didn't, I never really thought about it having no clutch because it's just such a
Yeah.
habit for me now. But so you guys that are listening don't really know about old bikes. When I say no gears, so
No
my
transmission.
yeah, no transmission, but my particular bike, when I go to start, I get on it, get a push. They push me, put my feet up, and then, I get it going and I go. That's it.
Yeah.
No stopping. And then to stop, so to speak, I shut it off. And then
Coast.
and coast. And if I am coasting not far enough, I let the button go and it starts back up again. And I keep going. So you gotta, like when you say planning, there is a lot of planning to know how far you're gonna coast and where you gotta go, and as far as stopping and slowing down. And I know I talked to somebody recently that raced, and they said they came into the corner and you floor it in the straightaway, which isn't, flooring it on a 100-year-old motorcycle, but still going fast. And he was like, oh my God, I forgot I have no brakes to slow down. So he shut it off.
Yeah.
And then coasted the corner and then let the button loose, and it started back up and kept going. And you said he didn't go that fast again on the straightaway, you know? So you have to plan it.
And if you come out to the race or you go back and look at some of the FaceTime lives I did at the last event, because I was standing out on the track, the riders are literally hanging off the bike, physically trying to pull it around the curve. There's JP right there, right? I mean, you literally hanging off the bike, trying like a sport bike rider does, because the physics want to take the bike right up to the wall. And you have to fight the bike because the tires are so small. The contact patch of those tires is like a bicycle tire. It's so small that you're literally fighting it around the half mile. Those tracks were made for four-wheel, sprint cars and modified stock cars. They're not made for these motorcycles. So the speed that you get in the straightaway becomes your enemy in the curves, and you literally have to fight it through. I mean, you're wore out when you come in out after a heat.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I know, like in my case, like when I come into the corner, I like literally say to myself, okay, look at the next corner. Like look where you want to go. And I know that's like, I feel like that's like what they taught you when you're 16 and getting your motorcycle license. Yeah. And here I am.
Yeah.
A lot of years later, and I'm still thinking that. But I think that in my instance, me looking where I want to go forces my body to move.
Yeah.
Therefore, I'm hanging more, to the left of the bike, because it does. If you're looking straight ahead as you come into that corner, you're gonna go right up to the wall. And there's just so much more to it than going in circles.
Well, the old saying is, when you're riding a motorcycle, don't look where you're going, look where you're gonna go.
Right, where you want to
go. But you're right, and you're gonna go right toward the wall, and if you don't go toward the wall's gonna come to you. One of the two things is gonna happen. I mean, Josh Young is a perfect example of that. That picture that everybody has of him up 2 feet off the ground. Josh Young was going hot and wide.
Yeah.
Couldn't control the bike and literally rode the concrete barrier wall like the wall of death.
Yeah, that was.
And he's a good rider too.
He's a great rider.
Yeah, first of all, he's a great rider for riding that out.
Yeah.
Like off the ground. I wish I had the picture, but this Josh Young, he was literally came around turn 4 and went up the wall, like literally up the wall.
Rode the wall.
Yeah.
Both tires were the back tire was a foot off the ground. The front tire was about 2 feet off the ground. I have good video of it. I've never posted it.
On the video you posted.
I think I posted a picture of it. Or no, was it the video? It was the video. Yeah. That was somebody else's video, but I have really good video of it that's mine that I've never posted. I need to edit it and post it. But a lot of people don't know, Jody checkered a couple years ago too. And you were going around what's his name? That rides Leroy, that 1913 Harley.
He's a winner too.
Huh?
The guy that I beat, that he was a winner too.
Yeah, he won. I think he checker flagged twice. And it's racing. The thing about this racing is you can't hear anything because the bikes are so loud, and the track is like a speaker. It's shaped like a speaker, so the sound bounces off the track and comes right back up to your head. And Jody snuck around him on the outside. That's hard to do because the walls come so quick and you can get pinched.
Yeah.
And he was looking over his left shoulder, and she happened to be trailing him right behind him and come around his right side. He didn't know. And he kind of backed off thinking, I got this one in the bag. And she smoked him right there at the start finish line. He was like, he was so stoked.
Yeah. I wasn't even sure that I won. because
Yeah.
it was so close. And I just literally thought in my head, like, oh my God, I tucked as much as I possibly could. And I mean that Indian was very consistent. And that's a good thing about Sons of Speed is you don't necessarily have to be the fastest out there.
Yeah.
It's more about consistency and consistency in the corners and being like that slingshot almost effect, as
Yeah.
well as staying on the throttle,
Yeah.
because the second you let off, you lose so much. It's hard to get that momentum back up. And that little Indian was so consistent. I could hold it wide open the whole track and not lose any momentum. And that was what got me, was that I was so consistent. I literally thought, like, oh my God, if I tuck just a slight bit more, am I going to get that, just that little bit, and it was enough.
It's so exciting. And then the rivalries in the 45 class now with eBay Jake.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
And,
He is so good. He's
He
so
is.
entertaining to watch.
yeah.
it's something.
It's amazing. And I'll tell anybody, if you've ever seen any video of this online, it seems slower in the video than it is when you come in person. You're going to be like, whoa, what happened? It's like somebody sped the reel up. It's just so much faster in person. And it's getting faster every time. I've been putting that in my posts. So, I hope you all come out to Sons of Speed on the 5th. Go to billylane.net for tickets. And, we've got some great sponsors. I mean, we got Kirsch Helmets giving away free helmets the day of the race for people who come into the event. And Gettysburg Bike Week has come on now, and we're trying to possibly do an event up there, different event than the oval track racing, but we're talking about event. Cycle Source Magazine, Classic Easy, Easy Rider Magazine's back, Dave.
Yeah, I
That's
know.
very cool.
I
With Dave
know.
Nichols. So they're on board as a sponsor, and it just allows us to do so much more with the event.
Yeah.
So we're really excited.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
What about Laconia? We have a bunch of people asking about Laconia.
So we have to work on the venue. The venue's always been the hard part there. I think if we had an event there, I think it'd be highly successful. It's the venue and getting in, because, so like New Smyrna Speedway is a existing track. It looks that way 365 days a year. And there's nothing like that in Laconia. So they're gonna have to build something for us, or prep something for us. So that's the issue that we're working on right now. But there's only a few months between now and then. If we can get that done, I'd love to have an event there, because I love Laconia. I love the Northeast. The people up there are great.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it would be nice to have an event in Laconia.
Is the track, so you're talking about one maybe around you, is that a paved circle track?
no, it's clay, but it's a 3/8 of a mile. It's got shorter straightaways and a wider curves, which is better. And it's really hard packed clay, and she can bank it. She told me she can bank it to 30 degrees. And I was just out there last week. It's really smooth. So it's good the way it is, but if we could bank it more, it'd make for a lot better racing. So
Yeah.
we're working on that now. We're going to really work on it after we get back from Daytona, and possibly announce that event pretty quick.
That
And
would be really cool.
I think it would be small as a first year event, but that's okay. If we can get, a handful of racers out there to run it, I think we'd have a lot of fun. So.
Yeah, I agree. How much, so I put the link down the bottom, billylane.net, for people to get tickets. How much are the stands?
So I think general admission in the bleachers is $20, which is $25 at the gate. So you're saving $5 right there, which is, a beer or a soda or whatever.
I mean, $20 is nothing. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
It's nothing.
yeah.
And then,
a football game
yeah,
in beer is $20.
we always have a meet and greet with the racers before the race. It's total entertainment. It's better than buying some crappy T-shirts on Main Street, or a bunch of warm beer, and all those places you've already been in 5 nights in a row, right? So, and then the infield tickets are $80, and it's definitely worth it. But we understand it's probably not in everybody's budget.
Yeah.
So, and then we have like a hot pass, which has a Friday night, pre-party at Iron Horse Saloon, which is really great. And then the hot pass, the pit pass too. So, it's kind of a little different price scale for everybody there, but $20 is nothing. It's definitely worth it.
Yeah. If people that are watching, if you're a little unsure about going, come and just get a general admission pass for $20. And if you love it in October, get a pit pass. I know in the past you've limited the amount of VIP tickets. Are you doing that again?
Yeah, it's still limited. I think we did 50, and I think we've already sold half of them out. And what happens is Aaron and I start doing a lot of Facebook lives as we get closer. And every time we hit a Facebook live, we sell 6, 8, 10, a dozen tickets. So they go pretty quick.
I bet.
But we have to limit it just because, you know, we have to insure everybody that's in that infield. And it's, you know, the insurance company, and you've been there, you see how crowded and how because you've got, you know, say 50 racers, and each race team has 3, 4, 5, 6 people, and then another 50, you know, passes coming in. And then we have our track staff and security. It gets pretty crowded pretty quick.
Yeah.
So we really are limiting it. Maybe it's 100 that she put up. I don't remember, but it's not a lot. It's pretty limited. So if you want them, get them.
Yeah, I agree. I actually like that idea, because I know, me personally, there's been not only the last race, but other races. There's been times where I'm coming into the pits and I'm like, get out of the way, you know, and it's people walking and they don't realize we don't have any brakes. And it's not like you can swerve on those board trackers, that I can't swerve around somebody quick. So I think that it's good that you guys limit that, because like I said, it's almost like a safety thing to a point where people they're walking and they don't realize, like, we have no brakes, we have no way to stop, we can't swerve, like, it's hard for us to get around people. So the more it's controlled, probably the better, the safer.
Yeah, we're really working on that. That's why, like, I'm bringing Jason Griffin in. You know, he's gonna straighten. I was trying to do too many things, flag a race.
Yeah, definitely.
Just organize it. You know, now I have Andy, I have Jason, I have Jackie, I have Bubba. We have a full crew of volunteers to work the corners and to score everybody who's coming around the track. There's a lot of moving parts to it.
Yeah.
So having everybody on board is going to make it a better event, safer for everybody. You know, and like I said, I know what my limitations are. I've reached them. The event's outgrown what I can do. So, you know, hand it off to people who can do better. You know, and it's too. So I don't know if anybody out there knows who Don Emdy is, but Don Emdy, 50 years ago, won the Daytona 200. His dad, Floyd Emdy, I think won the 200 in 1948 on an Indian, and then Don won on a 2-stroke Yamaha, I think in 1972. But so this is his 50th anniversary of winning. He's almost always in Daytona. He won't be in Daytona this event because he's celebrating the 50 in California, where he lives with a bunch of family and friends. But he'll be there next year, and you know, we're probably going to have him as the Grand Marshal. And you're talking about like a Daytona legend, you know, a Daytona motorcycle racing legend. You know, we've got Danny Eslick racing with us now, who won the Daytona 200, I think in 17. I was there when he won. So I think it was 2017. I was there with my brother. You know,
I kind of cringe at that, because I'm like, what the heck? He's a professional racer out here. But it definitely makes you step your game up. Like, I'm like, oh, I'm going to, you know, like, I want to beat him. You know?
And he checkered flags last event, his first event. You know, he did great, and his bike wasn't one of the fastest bikes, but like you said, he had a good game, went out there and played it well, and you know, he got checkered flag. And so, you know, it's just pretty amazing the people that this event is drawing in. It's kind of exceeded my expectations for sure.
Well, you know, you mentioned Don Emdy. I think Don Emdy is getting a Lifetime Achievement Award this year at the Hall of Fame in Sturgis.
I was thinking that he's getting something.
Yeah,
probably. He's a big deal. You know, he's a big deal.
He is getting it. I know he's getting it.
Yeah. That's cool. That would be cool to have him as a Grand Marshal.
Yeah.
So I'm working on something with him right now. I talked to him last night, and we're, you know, I knew it was kind of late in the game to get him here for this event. But oh my gosh, his car is coming down my street so fast. He's probably headed to Sons of Speed. He's going so fast.
Yeah.
He's on his way.
He's listening.
He's got no brakes. He's practicing.
But he's going to get his VIP ticket before they sell out. But you know, we were trying to get Don there for next March. He really wants to come. He's really excited about it, actually, which is a big deal, you know. So, and for a guy, you know, like we had Scotty Parker ride. Scotty Parker rode my my Harley in to start off the American Flat Track races a couple years ago at Daytona Speedway, and then Jay Springsteen rode my 1911 Indian in. I mean, to have guys like that, or those kind of legends,
Jay Springsteen, definitely,
as a part of our event in some way. I mean, you know, it's really, really amazing. So, and then, you know, you guys, Dave and Jody, I mean, you know, what you've done with the Cannonball, and you did, what was the other one you did? It's not the Cannonball, but it was the Chase.
Yeah, it's actually two of my friends from there. Scott and Kelly, both my Cannonball buddies, they maybe 2 years ago, they had their War 45s and they rode laps around the track
Yeah.
at the beginning of the race with their flags. We
Yeah.
literally just talked about that with Kelly.
Yeah.
I just
yeah.
thought
He was just out here visiting.
and he
us
was telling me like
from
how cool
Kansas.
that was.
Yeah.
You know, but they you know, are antique guys. This is what they do. They don't even own new motorcycles and they ride all over the country. So it was so cool for them to tell me how cool that was. You know, something that I kind of got them in the door with to do on these bikes that they've ridden across country that are 70 years old.
Well, they rode them across Europe too. Right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So I never heard that they did ride them across Europe. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, and that's the fun thing about Sons of Speed is if somebody shows up, that was a last minute thing that wasn't planned. If somebody shows up with something cool or a cool idea, we're like, let's do it because we don't have to answer to anybody. You know, it's really trying to keep it open in that respect and keep it fun. And you don't forget these events. I mean, you just don't forget them. Every time I look at a photo from a past event, I'm like, wow, that was a good event. And I look at them like, but that was a great race. You know, that was I love the picture of you when you took the checker flag, Jody, that time. It's one of my favorite photos. It's just so awesome. I'm gonna have to post that online.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's a cool picture.
Can you post it?
No, I can try to, let me see if I can, I think I literally.
it's a black and white. I know that.
Yeah. Let me see.
I think it's a Brian Helm photo. I'm pretty sure it's one of his.
Yeah, I have actually like a folder of Sons of Speed on my computer.
Hey, and Dave, we got to talk at the track because this time next year, was about when we started filming the biker build-off we did together.
Oh, no kidding!
20 years ago. 20 years ago when we were both much younger men.
Yeah, right.
The ride was in April, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we started that show like in February.
Yeah, right. Yep.
Before Bike Week.
I mean, the biker build-offs, Billy, was such an experience.
Yeah.
It was just, to be able to do that, never mind the TV side of it, but just to be able to ride with your friends, under the circumstances that we rode. And it was just so cool.
So we should do something to celebrate that. Cause I've been posting stuff. Like I talked to Jesse because the 20th anniversary of the first, Monster Garage just passed, and then of the second Motorcycle Mania, and he and I were talking, and it was like hard. And I've been talking to Hugh King, and it's just so hard to believe it's been 20 years.
Yeah.
What's cool about it is, so somebody who was 15 years old or 12 watching that show 20 years ago now is 32 or 35, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
Back then, they were a kid and really couldn't make their own decisions for themselves. They were just kind of coming of age, and now they're an adult, can do what they want. So they're the people that are a part of our future of the motorcycle community and industry and everything else. And I can't tell you every time I post something about that, somebody makes a comment, says that's why I got in the motorcycle business, that's why I'm a welder, that's why I became a painter, because of watching you and Dave Perowitz, or Jesse and Indian Larry and Kid Rock, or whoever, Arlen Ness. I mean, it's just those shows made a big impact on a lot of people.
Yeah, without a doubt.
The 2 decades that have passed have allowed so much to happen with those people who were viewers that now they're parts of the industry. So I think we should try and get together and do something. I'd love to just talk to you about it and interviewing you in Daytona about what it was like from your perspective, because, so much happens in your shop behind the scenes with you. You're away from your family. You're up all night working crazy hours trying to get done that the viewer doesn't see in a 44-minute edit for TV, right? Because
I'd love to do that. There's so much, between the two of us, there's so much to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that would be wicked cool. And I think people would love that.
Yeah.
Right?
And
the actual real deal behind the scenes,
Let's make time to do it if we can in Daytona. That's one of the things I got these people helping me now. It's going to free me up so much.
Okay.
To where I can actually have a conversation with somebody,
we could talk about it at Sons of Speed, and then I'm going to be around all week, so we could get together later on in the week and do something.
Yeah, and maybe even include Lichter, because he was there photographing so much of it, and he's got the photos, It is, and I was talking to Hugh King about it. You know, he and I talk pretty regular, and it's just he would tell me things that I completely forgot about. I'd be like, oh my God, how could I have forgotten that? Because, you know, you're in your shop working 20, 22-hour days. Well, I was at the bar goofing off, which is why I was late. But, you know, you're basically doing something that's out of your realm, and it creates all these situations that you forget about over time. And Hugh was telling me about them. And so me and Jesse were talking about a lot of the stuff. It's just so hard to believe. And that was a really magical time, I think, that, you know,
absolutely.
we may or may not ever see again.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever see that again, Bill. I hate to say it, but
Yeah.
you know, what about Hugh King? What's his deal now?
He's retired. You know, he was retired. If people don't know, he was the producer. You know, he did Monster Garage and then all those biker build-off shows we did, and Motorcycle Mania too. But he's retired now, living a happy life with his wife out in California. And, you know, I think he's 81.
Oh yeah.
You know, he's just chilling. And, but, you know, he was a big part of all of our lives for sure. You know, I mean,
yeah.
You know, I'm still feeling the benefits of that today.
It's hard to believe that it was almost 20 years ago, huh?
Yeah.
Time flies.
I know it.
I don't even know what song it is, but there's a new song, and it says, "The days go slow, but the years go fast."
Yeah.
I keep thinking about that because I'm like, you know, sometimes the day does go slow, and then I'm like, holy cow, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Like, you know, 20 years ago. That seems like a long time. But
you were a kid when we did the biker build-off.
Yeah, I mean that's literally. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean that's 19. That's I mean.
Yeah, you wrote a new V-Rod, right?
Yeah, the V-Rod in 2003 was the first year for it. Yeah, and my aunt let me and her shared a V-Rod, even though we had more fun picking people up that broke down than riding. But I mean, that was one of the best trips I think I've ever been on.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I mean, it was, you know, it was a lot of fun. I mean, I had a lot of stuff, personal stuff going on at the time that we did our show, made it really hard for me. But I mean, in the end, I was glad I did it. You know, my three things I love to do is surf, ride motorcycles, and play guitar. And I was supposed to go I had a whole trip scheduled out with a great buddy of mine to go surfing in Indonesia. Like out in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, stay for 2 weeks and just surf every day and live on a little tiny island in a hut. And then they called and said, "Hey, we want to film a biker build-off with you and Dave Perowitz." Cancel my trip. I'm, you know, I didn't have to think about it. And I mean, gosh, you know, think about how much fun that was and what a great show. I mean,
Hey, somebody says, let me find the comment. Chad says, "I think you both should watch it together and film it. That would actually be really cool because you guys could go back and forth. We should do that."
That would be really cool.
Yeah, to say like, oh, at this point, you know, tell the backstory of it and, you know, like go over it. That would be really cool, like a real behind the scenes footage.
I'd be all for that. Even if I had to come to you, which brings up something else.
Yeah.
I have a customer who's in New England I'm building a chopper for, and he wants you to paint it. And
good. That's cool.
And I'm like stoked because I've never had you paint a bike for me.
Yeah, no, I'd be glad to do it.
Yeah.
So, you know, that might be a great time to do that because this bike is, you know, it should be ready for, you know, he's the holdup, not me, which is unusual.
I'm just gonna say good for you.
But it should be ready to go, you know, this spring, summer. If we could schedule something in there and maybe I could come up and we could do exactly what you're talking about. Cause I have it on DVD. I don't know if you have it saved on a memory card or DVD, but
I have it on DVD, although DVD players seem obsolete now.
Yeah. I still have an Apple, a MacBook that has a player in it. So that's how I watch stuff like that. But I've saved everything to a memory stick.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I actually have it in YouTube. You can get it on YouTube.
Yeah, but the resolution's kind of
a little grainy. You're right.
Yeah.
So, I did that.
So I have it where it's, you know, really clear resolution, but I would love to do that with you. That'd be great. But I mean, you know,
I would love to, you know, just as we're talking, I'm thinking, you know, when I did the build off with Paul Yaffe, you know, I built that build off bike and you know how those bikes were going back then cost wise, you know, 100 grand, no problem.
Yeah.
And So, I had a price in my mind. I'm going to sell this bike for 100 grand. And so we get to the build off spot in Iowa. And, I pull up, he pulls up, I roll my bike out, he rolls his bike out. So we both go over and I'm looking at his, he's looking at mine. I says, Paul, what are you going to do with your bike? And he says, oh, I'm going to sell it. I says, really? How much? He says, oh, I want 120 for mine. I'm thinking to myself, no shit, 120? I sold my bike that week before the build off was over for 120 grand. And honest to God, Paul Yaffe made me an extra 20 because I would have asked 100.
That's great.
That's
Yeah.
just a rigid
Yeah.
frame, boring paint bike. If he's going to get 120, we can get that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Paul's bike was nice.
Yeah, no, I know, but I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
But I
like,
mean,
those
it's just
basic-
that story always stood out in my mind, But I mean, we have, when your bike caught on fire, and I'm riding next to you and I'm watching and I see smoke coming off and I'm thinking, no big deal. Then all of a sudden, poof, and I'm like, Billy,
Yeah.
all those stories, Bill.
Yeah. And there's so much more to it. I mean, that's what I'm saying. That there's so much more that we could talk about that people who watch those shows, if they go watch it on YouTube now, they're not going to know. It's
Right.
really interesting feeling because whenever I tell somebody that I know, hey, this is what happened before that, or, giving them a context to what they saw, they're like, oh my gosh, it's such an interesting story, And so sharing those things, I think would be a lot of fun and, a way to memorialize that because like I said, it's a 44-minute edit for space for commercials and intro and outro and all that. And then there's 22 minutes of you and 22 minutes of me roughly, and there's, what can you show in 22 minutes?
And
Oh, yeah.
And 4 weeks, is that what you guys filmed? Because I know they came
Yeah.
twice or 3 weeks each. So
I
I mean,
can't remember. They changed it so much. It was less and less every time. I can tell you that. The more we did, the less time we got. But,
yeah. I see. I just want to say a couple of the comments on here. Mark Hendricks, who's one of our good guys from North Carolina, from Tobacco Road, Harley Davidson. He bought 8 of your VIP tickets.
Thank you.
Yeah, very cool. Thanks, Mark. Andrew says he watched the dirt track racing at the dog track in Laconia one year. I don't know where I didn't know they had dirt track racing, but maybe that's something. The dog track.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Havoc. Hey, Tom. Tom makes CSI waxes and polishes, which we're going to talk about again. But great stuff. We're a big sponsor for it. He's going to be a sponsor for our paint show. CSI. We're going to be talking about that again.
Yeah, Ellie Rains, Tim Rains. Thank you guys. They're eBay Jake's in-laws.
Oh yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, they're such good people.
Freddie.
Yeah. Freddie. Wait a minute. I wanted to read Freddie's comment where it says, "Love you guys. Sons of Speeds changed my life and given me friends that I love with all my heart."
Freddie's the best. Nobody is more enthusiastic about Sons of Speed than he's got Godspeed Racing, Freddie Bolwaj. And I remember he came, something we were talking about. A lot of the racers that we have came just to be a spectator, had no intention of racing, left, and came back as a racer. And
Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks. I told him, and
absolutely.
He came to Biketoberfest for the first time. And I, schmoozed him like, come on, Tom, you got to come. You got to come. And, and he's into, obviously, old bikes. That's his thing. And I was like, first of all, I got him to come to Biketoberfest. And then it was like Sons of Speed. And he's like, I'm in. And I don't think he was there an hour. And I went and just looked at him and he goes, yeah, thanks. You just cost me another 50 grand. Because he was on it. And now he's coming out on a bike to race, this March. And then Sean, who the two of them just bought Competition Distributing, Sean's building a bike now to race in the fall. So the two of them, that same thing. They came to spectate and they got the itch, and now they're in.
So I'm building a single that I think I showed it to Tom, but it's right behind me here. But it's just a 1916 Harley single, but it has a Pope overhead valve head and cylinder on it, which is made in Boston.
Yeah,
I'll have that done for next year. But it's how it starts. It literally starts with a couple parts, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to make it work. And I have a real nice Pope behind me. It's an original bike that I've restored, and it's just too nice to turn into a racer because it's too original. Even for a guy like me who likes to cut everything up, but I'll build a nice racer around that and have a great little single.
I might have to get get a single, get in the singles club.
Well, the singles is a whole different animal than the twins, and
Yeah.
it's going to get a lot faster, but it's going to be a lot more competitive because the bikes are there's so much less that you can do to them.
And so I know because the 12 that I have been riding, you know, it's so rickety.
Yeah.
I know that bike, I had it top speed as fast as I could go at 37. That was, and at one point I was on a good hill going down and I had it going 43. And I can tell you 43 was hairy. They are so rickety that, and there's nothing to them that, you know, that's what's going to be cool about the singles is they'll get them a little faster, but those chassis and everything.
So my friend Jason just walked in. He's got a JAP, which is, you know, it's a British speedway bike, alcohol bike, but we detuned it for gasoline. But he's going to be hard to beat out there because that's a 40 horsepower machine on alcohol, but it's still probably going to make around 20 on gas, which is a lot for a single.
Yeah.
What is is it a twin?
No, it's a single. It's a 500cc single, but you know,
you make 40 horsepower out of a single?
Yeah.
Holy cow, that's a lot.
Yeah, you know, a modern alcohol speedway bike makes 75 horsepower out of a single 500cc, and it's
that's a lot compared to the one that I was riding.
But you're talking about like a 2-stroke, right?
No, it's 4-stroke.
Really?
Yeah,
I can hear his voice.
So we're doing a live.
Hey Dave,
we're doing a live.
How you doing? Hey girl, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good to see y'all.
Yeah.
Man, your bike is going to be hard to beat.
Yeah, he's.
Well, I'd like to hope so.
Until he gets the jitters in those corners on that bike and realizes how hard it is to steer it.
Well, that's what I was going to say. You got to get out on the track and get some miles under your belt.
Oh yeah,
but he's a perfect example. Came, you know, just seen it as a spectator and then watched it from afar. And like, I want to do that, you know. And that's the great thing. You don't have to be sanctioned and all this nonsense. Come out, spend some time on the practice day, get familiar with the track, learn from everybody else, ask questions, come out there, and the next thing you know, you're trying to pull that needle out of your vein, man, and you can get it out.
Yeah.
So how many singles? You must have at least like 5 or 6 then.
We have 4 that I know of and possibly 5. So there's Dave, you know, I rode his bike in October. Jason
Hallman?
Brooks.
Jason
okay,
Brooks,
He stepped up right now that you guys just said hello to. So there's Jason Brooks, there's Tom Kiefer, there's Dave Morrill, who I rode his single, his blocked off single. And then there's I think there's somebody else. I'm trying to think of who it is. Tom. So Tom Banks.
Yeah, Tom's on a single.
So that's 4 bikes right there. And then I'll get this one done sometime ready for next year. That'll be 5. And then we know the singles are going to come in because there's a lot of them out there.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of establishing it, you know, and getting them joined. So
I said Jason Hallman because he was there in October and he's like, oh, I'm coming back. I want to race this. And then I don't know if he's actually on the list, if he signed up or whatnot. I hadn't heard anything more. That's why
I haven't seen his racer packet, but that doesn't mean anything. You know, I got 3 racer packets in today, and they'll keep coming in. We had a deadline of maybe a month or so ago, but they just keep trickling in,
we're racist. We're not paid for people.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's see. I just wanted to shout out Pedro, the engraver, Sonia Scott, Brad. He says, love the show. Martin. Hi. He says, hi, Billy. Martin. BB Frost. Hi, Billy. I think he's from a different country. Greetings from
Denmark.
Holland.
Oh, he's from Holland?
Yeah.
Okay.
James Patient, Freddie, Tim Raines, Gina Woods. She said
Woods, yeah.
His son's racing.
Yeah. Mark Hendricks, Mark Draco, Andrew, Flea.
Hey, Flea.
Jim Kelly says, I'm looking forward to the race. Let's see. Billy Dutra, Andrew from Long Island, Tim
Ben
Raines.
Smith.
Pan Man. Is that Ray?
I think so.
He says Ray. Oh yeah, Ray from Florida.
Yeah.
What's up, Ray?
59 Pan Man.
Yeah. That's his Instagram handle.
Right. Yeah.
Gary Raphael, Let's see. Gary Fuller. We're all just regular people with a common interest. Whether you work in the industry or just love, or you're just an enthusiast, we all started off just loving the motorcycles. So that's
Well,
very
so all of you, thanks for supporting and share, share it with other people that may not be familiar with it, because it's just awesome. And it's going to be better this time than ever, because Aaron and I aren't doing all of it by ourselves, which is going to make it so much better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you gotta,
absolutely.
Give some other people some responsibilities so that you guys can do your jobs to the best of your ability.
Yeah, and having Andy in there has been that'll be great for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Did you find that cat on the side of the road or something?
Not that one, another one. That cat hustled me that you're talking about. It was snowing out here, and she came running up out of nowhere. I didn't even see her, and she ran up to me and just hold me. She was soaking wet and freezing. It was in the teens, and I grabbed her. I figured I'd bring her inside and give her some food and water and some warmth, and wait for it to warm up and put her back out. And then she's at our house somehow with our kids love her. And
yeah.
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 I'm not a fan, but I would probably be sucking into it if that came about with me too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You can't just put an animal out like that. She's super sweet though. She's really well behaved and loves the kids. She's really loving, and the kids are crazy about her. So
I bet you don't have any mice.
No mice.
I said I'm looking for a cat to rent for a weekend just to get my mice, maybe once a month.
Yeah, you can. I'll bring this one down to Daytona. You can take her back, but she's snobby. She's really snobby.
Yeah, I'd be bringing her back probably. But Kathleen Covington also has commented on here that we'll be at the Speedway. Come see us. Bring some flyers to the bike show and Sons of Speed, and we'll hand them out. So Kathleen, I will definitely see you. I actually can't wait. I love the Covingtons. Such good family.
Yeah, I love Jerry and Kathleen too. Love his bikes and love them as a couple. They're great people.
Yeah. Gina Woods actually asked a pretty good question. Who's the youngest racer?
Not me. It might be. No, it's not Danny Eslick. I know it might be your son. And I don't have to look. I don't know. It's because I'm not doing everything anymore. So Andy has all the paperwork now, so I don't even see it anymore, which is nice.
I can't think of who is. I mean, I think eBay is a year older than me. Rusty's, I think, younger than me.
Yeah.
And what's the guy from Connecticut with the exhaust? Toch.
Oh yeah.
His nephew, he's younger. He's a little younger than me.
Dan?
Yeah, his
Dan's nephew.
There was racing in October and was right with eBay.
His name is Ortiz. His name's is it Daniel Ortiz?
Yeah, I think so.
I think that is. Yeah.
Yeah. He's younger than me too. So I mean, I don't know, maybe 35.
Yeah, I know he's young. He's a good rider. I'll tell you what.
He's really good rider. He gave eBay a run for his money.
But I called them, because I know they're trying to be able to catch eBay, and I said it to Andrew and those guys up at Departure before. If you guys pull, since you're racing in top gear only, if you pull the counter shaft out of those bikes, you know how much more horsepower and speed you're going to get at the rear wheel just by taking that stuff. Your gearbox in those bikes is pulling probably 20%, eating up 20% of the crank horsepower. People don't realize how much your crank horsepower and your rear wheel horsepower are two different things.
Yeah.
So if you pull that counter shaft out of the gearbox, just leave the main shaft in it, or pour the whole thing out and put a Speedway jack shaft in it with just a clutch, you're going to be gaining a ton of power. And so I told Steve Broyles that, because he's prepping the bike for Ortiz for those guys.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't think I'm going to have time. I'm like, well, you don't have time to win? I mean, this is you got till 1 p.m. on Saturday to get that shit done. It was Saturday the 5th of March. What are you talking about? So anyhow, but there's little changes like that are going to be the things. And if you've ever watched On Any Sunday, the Bud Brown movie from 1971, they talk about that. Literally shaving the gears down, filing the gears down, shaving seconds off of a lap. Decimals of a second off of a lap to win.
Yeah.
You're a national AMA champion. I mean, it's just literally what it takes.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. I mean, that's one more comment. Freddie says, I'll never win a race as long as Jody is in front of me. All right, Freddie, I'll let you go behind.
Yeah.
All right, Billy. So we don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you got a lot of work to do as well as we do.
Yes.
So Saturday, March 5th, Sons of Speed, New Smyrna Speedway. And they can go to billylane.net to buy
Right.
tickets. And you guys, you're limited to VIP passes. So if any of you guys want a VIP pass, go on there and buy one because there's only so many. Anything else you want to?
No, I just want to thank you guys for doing this. I look forward to seeing you both down there,
Yeah.
and everybody you bring with you. And I want to thank everybody who's watched for paying attention and supporting what we're doing because it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Okay, and
All right.
we'll have to talk about the biker build off.
Yeah.
I knew you'd be in on this. That's good.
Definitely.
All right.
Well, thanks so much. All
Thank you, Billy.
right, y'all. We'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yep.
Sounds good. All right, guys. So that was our show today. That was Billy Lane from Choppers Inc. He runs Sons of Speed. It's his race on Saturday, March 5th. I will be there racing. So if you're in Daytona, in the New Smyrna area, Daytona area, come on down Saturday, March 5th to Sons of Speed. And also don't forget our paint show is on Wednesday, March 9th at the Broken Spoke. We have some really cool trophies, some cool prizes, cool swag. to give away.
$1,000 for best paint.
$1,000.
$1,000 cash for best paint.
So there you go. If you got a custom paint job, come on down to our paint show Wednesday, March 9th, and Sons of Speed Saturday, March 5th. So that's our show for today. I'm not sure what next week because I won't be here, but we'll figure it out and I'll let you know. But thanks for tuning in. Make sure you share this post. Tell all your friends to tune in to Chopper History so we can keep Choppers alive. And thanks to Law Tigers, Badlands, and Indian Motorcycles for sponsoring Chopper History.
And we've got Freddie just posted.
Oh yeah, True Grit.
True Grit. Warren Lane on March 6th at the
That's-
Broken Spoke.
So Sunday.
Yeah,
Is
that's
he
a
at the
Sunday.
Yeah, Broken Spoke.
Yep.
That's an awesome show. Antique
Yeah,
bikes.
great show. Warren
Warren's-
does a great job on that stuff.
Yeah. So thank you guys for all your comments and tuning in. We will catch you next week.
Okay.